Right, so I'm so delighted right now on my YouTube channel to be speaking to Overpass. How's it going, Overpass, with a lowercase o?
Yeah, good thanks.
We've got 3 out of 4 of them. India, Elliot and Max. I wish there was 5 of you, because then we could have 4 out of 5 and it would be like a really cool Arctic Monkeys reference. We could sneak in. Because I guess you guys, as a band who've just dropped your first single, how long ago was it now that it came out? Like one night level?
About a week. It came out last Friday.
Last Friday, and you've managed 6,000 plus streams on Spotify in that time for a debut single. So you guys must be quite buzzing, because you're kind of, when I was asking people, you know, who's a new band, who's getting, you know, big quickly I should interview, I was kind of expecting like bands who were outside of Birmingham and more established, but I had like 4 people say Overpass are killing it, and obviously you guys are.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, we didn't really know what to expect, because like you said, it's our first single. So on the first day, I remember we got 1,000 streams like by the end of the day, and we were just like, that is crazy. And then we thought after that, like, okay, it might slow down a bit now, but I mean, like, yeah, I think we got like about 5,000 in like a week period, which is just like insane, really. Is
that from playlists, or is that from just kind of word of mouth spreading and getting your friends to start with, and then it passes on through contacts?
Yeah, pretty much that. It's a bit of both, really. We've got really supportive mates, and I think everyone's got behind us and shared it about as well. That's nice. And then as soon as like Spotify do like the release radar, that's always quite helpful to get into the kind of algorithm of it. It's quite cool.
So did you guys manage to get on a playlist, or those 6K streams? No. That's crazy.
Yeah, we didn't get any playlists. We literally got put on a playlist today by this guy we were just in contact with. But everything that's come so far has just been through like just the authentic streams.
Yeah, because I'm guessing at your stage it's very much like a DIY operation. So did you have a strategy going into it from like the PR point of view? Just like, we're gonna put it out there ourselves and try and be professional, get it to the right people.
Yeah, it's like I did a lot of research, just as much as you can, like watching YouTube videos and stuff like that on like how, because we didn't know anything. We didn't know how to submit to radios. We didn't know like how to like make a press release. So we've kind of like did that all kind of from scratch. But we did have a lot of help. Like we're on Mass, so we have John from Mass who helps us out with that, and also Harry from Sonic Gun was really helpful as well.
Big up Sonic Gun, always. Tom Holloway, craziest person. Because I just think like Birmingham is such a kind of fertile place to be making music, and I loved like, we'll get onto your Spotify playlists on your band account, which I've been checking out, but I feel like I saw Riskus on there, I saw Sugar Thief on there, and I think like it feels like there's very little barrier between people who go from knowing these bands to them being in a band, and that contact with like promoters and people who are at a step up, that must have given you guys a big boost just going into it.
Definitely. I mean, like, I was surprised there's just so many people out there to help you, even just from like a grassroots, just from like a starting out level. It's not just like, oh, we'll only talk to you once you're big and you can offer us something. It's just very much like everyone being really helpful. Even like starting out. And like you said, Birmingham at the moment is just such an amazing place. So many really good bands coming up at the moment.
I mean, it sucks because we've had gigs like postponed for the 2nd time this year now, but were you guys quite regularly going to see other bands before you formed Overpass?
Yeah, definitely. I think the biggest one half of us went to, well, it's just before we started actually. It was the Claws, you know, the Christmas gig.
Of course I was there. Is that the massive headline one that was nuts at the Academy too? I feel like everyone was there.
Yeah, man, that was the moment I thought, right, we've got to get back to, you know, playing music and stuff. And me and Joe saw each other. That was nice.
That's so sick though. That you went from seeing the Claws December last year, being like, oh, you know, we've got to properly step up the band effort, and then you supported them at the Glee Club like what, 2 months ago, last month?
That's the thing. It's just, you know, you see all the videos online, and you know, you look up to these people because like biggest in Birmingham, you know, one of the biggest.
Absolutely.
You know, and just to be able to support them, it's mad, and it's, you know, he works in funny ways, doesn't he?
How did that come about? Because I saw Liam was commenting on one of your posts a while back, so he's obviously like aware of you guys still. Did you reach out to them, or did they just like find one of your tracks?
Was it Joe? I think Joe. He got into DMs, and he just
Joe just shot his shot and succeeded.
That's the way you do it.
Yeah.
I mean,
we said from a while back it would be like a big dream to support them at some point, and we had a few gigs booked, obviously, and then lockdown happened. And then I think Joe just messaged them or something, and they just started talking and said, "Have you got anything to send over?" And we obviously didn't have any music on Spotify, so it was really good that they trusted us to be able to put on a good show. We just sent them over some demos and stuff like that, and it was an amazing first gig opportunity.
And I mean, they're really down to earth guys. I feel like it hasn't really gone to their head, so they still love. They had a band called Watermark supporting them on that big show, and they love kind of putting the hand down to bands who were in the position they were literally a year ago.
Yeah, that's just sums it up really. They're great guys, and it's really nice to see everyone coming together, supporting each other. It's the scene, isn't it? It's cool.
Yeah, that's the community. We're talking about One Night Lover. It's a sick first single. It actually kind of gives me a bit of a vibe. It's slower tempo, but you think about The Claws and Shut Me Out, and it's that real kind of ground level indie that you can see is an exciting demo. And I was really glad because I saw you guys have said yourself that really early Arctic Monkeys, that's one of the big inspirations. And I don't know if you've heard a track called Leave Before the Lights Come On, but actually yeah. I'm glad you're nodding, Indy, because your Spotify playlist, I was like, chef's kiss. Lots of real kind of Arctic Monkeys, Alexander Deep cuts on there. But yeah, it's got that early Arctics vibe, even kind of aside from the debut album.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. I mean, we said when we were recording, we were kind of Mardi Bum was a close reference that we were going for. It's definitely, it's definitely a lot. There's not too much going on. It's quite simple to listen to. It does have that quite straightforward, it's just a kind of an indie rock pop type of song. So yeah, that kind of sound is definitely what we're going for. Just quite clean and simple tracks. Yeah,
it works. Were you guys fans of the latest album, Tranquility Base? Because it's a bit of a divisive one. Bit of contentious issue.
Either like it or you don't.
There you go. The vinyl has come out.
Yeah. No, I love it. The first time I listened to it, I wasn't sure because I'm a big guitar person in songs. So, because obviously there wasn't much guitar going on, but after I listened to it a few times, I love it loads. Yeah. I think the lyrics are incredible in it, really, really good. It's definitely different, but if you're willing to give that a listen.
I feel for me, just lyrically, you said it yourself, the way that he kind of deconstructs words and sounds and then stitches them together, it's almost like listening to a book of poetry that comes with a soundtrack. And it doesn't have the singles of AM with the catchy riffs, but I kind of spend a lot of time traveling, and if you want something that's almost like a soundtrack to a journey, I think it's so brilliant for that. It was my most listened to album last year, so
yeah, I think it works so well from start to finish if you listen to it in order. The transitions are so good. The transition from 1 point perspective into American sports is so good.
Yeah.
No, I really love it.
Gotta make sure.
The whole concept is so far out. It's just about a restaurant in a casino on the moon in a hotel.
Do you guys, because it's obviously you need to kind of find your sound as a band and get the kind of the more basic stuff out there, but do you guys think about where your sound might go in the future? Are you going to keep it similar or maybe start exploring, I don't know, synths and more kind of textured sounds in a way that a band like Arctic Monkeys have?
Yeah, one step at a time really.
Yeah.
It's just a process of, okay, what's next after each song, and then just kind of developing your own kind of niche, I guess. But we're just starting out, so it's just take your time with it.
Yeah, exactly. Who did the artwork for the single as well? Because that kind of really caught my eye as well when I was checking it out. It's a really kind of distinctive.
That would be my mate Aaron.
Amazing.
Yeah, shout out. He's a great guy.
Shout out to Aaron.
Yeah.
Is that just you describe an image that goes with the song, or did he just give you something that he thought would work?
I remember he did a lot of ideas first, and he did originally. We have another song called "Stop the Clock" that we kind of released a while ago. It's a little demo thing that we recorded ourselves.
Yeah.
And he did the artwork for that completely from scratch, and we just loved the style that he went for. So for this one, we knew we wanted to use him again. And I remember I just draw like the little scene on the hill, like on Instagram, just with the coloured pens. I was just like, see if you can work with this maybe. And he came back with that. And so yeah, it was really cool it was just Max's good friend. So yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I think you kind of using your network of friends rather than paying someone who's not going to know you and not going to maybe be as fair to you and be as invested in what you're doing. That's probably the right step to take at such an early stage as a band.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
Always good.
On the playlist, I know I mentioned them a lot. I was checking out the backstage one as well. It's a shame. It's a shame that Joe isn't here because I wanted to talk to him about being a Birmingham City fan, which I am. He's part of the select group of being a Riskus fan and a Birmingham City fan. The best of people. Are the rest of you guys into like local football at all?
Blues all the way. Come on.
Birmingham City. There you go. Keep right on. Keep right on. Get him down. I mean,
yeah, Coventry City fan for me.
Coventry City. Mate, I was watching a tweet. I looked at a tweet that was in relation to the last game. It was like, Pate watches Birmingham City dry. Because that last match, the 0-0 at home.
Oh, last night was rubbish, wasn't it?
It was just horrendous. I can't believe that a team of paid professionals can be so bad at a game that their job is to play. But yeah, I kind of enjoy it at this point.
Be used to it, man.
You've got to enjoy it, being a blues fan. But on your backstage playlist, you had a JK track as well, which I really liked. Because JK's a big blues fan. That's like some grime music, and I think it's very easy for indie bands to get kind of in a bubble. But it's sick to see that you guys are into that as well. In India, you've got stuff like Arcade Fire and Frank Ocean on your playlist as well.
Yeah.
So I guess you guys have quite a balanced taste amongst you.
Definitely. I think on that backstage playlist, it's fun because it's just like a collaborative one, so you can all just add tunes, and we were listening to it like before the claws, which was really cool. Like got some ABBA on there, just stuff
ABBA,
you can dance around to.
They love that
time.
stuff. The claws love it. The
definitely.
sample they have the sample of Man After Midnight, which is weird because I first heard that in the Madonna song, so I thought it was hers in like the mid-noughties, but it's crazy how that 80s kind of culture has really shaped modern rock. From like Tudor sound like they're an 80s band now. Arctic Monkeys, like Alex Tenor's obviously gone for a little bit of a different pastiche, but yeah, the synth is running rich through indie right now.
Like Blossoms, isn't it?
Yeah, Blossoms as well, exactly. All these bands, that's where they go to, I think. Has that track, or has that playlist been on at the Sunflower Lounge then? Because how many gigs have you guys managed to play? Did you actually get a gig before lockdown?
No, we didn't.
That's
We've
crazy.
only played the one with the claws. So
Wow.
we had a headline gig at the Sunflower Lounge booked, and that was like the main one that was like our first gig, and we were really excited about. And we had like a few other stuff going as well, because we were in talks with like lots of different promoters.
Sick.
And then obviously they were all cancelled. So yeah, the claws was like our first gig and our only gig so far, which is pretty crazy. To be honest.
That's start at the top, but I think it takes a lot of bravery actually to go out as a new band and be like, our first show will be a headliner. Because a lot of bands I know, I think they approach it as, even we'll support 3 or 4 bands at the Sunny before trying to headline. So were you guys just confident in the kind of group of people you had who would know you and be interested, or did you just want to like take a risk?
I think we just took every opportunity we could, because we got offered the headliner first. It wasn't something that we asked for.
Yeah.
So I think we just took the attitude of whatever opportunity we get, we're going to take it,
I think like a lot of like our friends are so supportive, so like they didn't even say you're headlining, they were just like, do you want to play this gig? We were like, sure. And then they gave us the tickets to sell, and we just basically sold them all. So like the other bands didn't really get a chance to sell
amazing.
them. They were just like, okay, we might as well make you headliners now. Like
just otherwise everyone would leave after the first band, and you don't want it. But it's so sick to hear you guys doing that, because it just reminds me of maybe 2 years ago when actually the Claws and Ivory Wave, both of them, had shows at the Institute too. And at the time, them playing those shows was a huge risk because they weren't sure if they could shift. I think the biggest show before that they'd had was maybe like Castle and Falcon. And if you take that gamble, I feel like in Birmingham, everyone kind of likes to rally behind you because of the culture. And it worked with those guys. So I hope like whenever you've got a Glee Club coming up, headline, and you just added a matinee show because of demand, so I feel like that might be paying off for you guys now as well.
Definitely. Yeah, really just can't wait to get everything sorted, and then you can have like normal gigs back.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that'll just be a different experience, won't it? I don't know what it will be like, so that's something to look forward to.
Yeah. Are you guys excited about the 30th? Because I mean, so that's the second gig you played this year, the first headliner, and again, it's crazy. Like I'd have thought, since the Claws played the Glee Club, that would be a venue that only the more established bands would headline. But did you guys just feel like, you've been to that venue, you know what it's like, and it's reliable? And
yeah, I think like after that gig, we've just been talking to Sonic Gun a lot, who've just been really great.
Yeah.
And like after that gig, that was the first time they saw us play, and they thought, okay, we want to put on a headliner in December, and then we've got Crimson as the support.
I was going to say, shout out Crimson.
Who
I love them.
are obviously amazing, and so we knew they would be able to sell tickets, and like we're big fans of theirs, and they've obviously been gigging before. So I think like it was kind of like, I don't know how the Glee Club was decided on, but I think they just kind of thought, yeah, give it a go.
It works. Tom Holloway works in mysterious ways. I'll go with whatever he decides. But I think you guys have a big love of Joy Division in common with Crimson.
Yeah.
Especially Pat. No, like they've got kind of great energy. And you guys covered Love Will Tear Us Apart, I think.
Yeah, that's on our Instagram.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good one I think like that's just a really fun one to play, definitely. But we've always just done like tried to do Joy Division tunes when we've been rehearsing from like since we started as a band. But yeah, definitely, I know Crimson are really like their sound's really influenced by them a lot.
Yeah, and it's just the live power of it. So I think it's going to be sick. I will do my best to be there. It's been so sick chatting to you guys. What are the plans for the future for you guys now? Because I guess we're going to wrap up 2020 with this gig, and then it's a bit of an unknown quantity in 2021. But have you got other singles and other songs that you think you've got a plan as to when we can see them?
Around February time, I think.
February.
We're planning, that's the aim, and maybe a show to go along with it as well, which would be cool. I think, yeah, definitely, we're going to take our time with it, each single as it comes, and just try to build up people around us, maybe.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but we've got like another single recorded that like we're getting mastered, so basically aiming to release in Feb, and we're really excited about that one. I think the sound's quite different, it's still within like the indie rock genre, but like it's moving to a place that we probably prefer. So we're really excited about that one, and hopefully we'll get a gig for like the single release kind of thing. So that'd be good.
Well, can't wait to hear it. Overpass, thank you so much. I'll catch you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sick. That was awesome, guys. Thank you so much.